Today we're going to make a Russian cookie. It's called Korzhiki. It's basically milk cookies. We are grown up eating these kind of cookies when we were little because we had a big influence from Russia. But then here in America, they don't have such a cookies here. But if I follow some of the recipes online, it doesn't come out the way I expected. So I had to tweak the original recipe a little bit my own way. So here it goes. Let's go ahead and start it. Please see the recipe below in the description. Okay, let's go ahead and use some warm room temperature egg because it's going to give your batter or dough nice and smooth texture. If you forgot to take the egg out, it's okay. You can put it into warm water and leave it about 5 to 10 minutes and you can still use it. You can add the sugar and then mix it, and then you're going to add some melted butter. Not hot, it can be room temperature or a little bit warm, it's okay. And then you're going to add vanilla and then just mix it up. The nice thing about this recipe is unbelievably cheap because it cost me only $2.60 to make the whole thing. So it makes about 20 to 24 cookies, so each cookies will cost you literally about 13 cents. So you're going to mix all these liquids all together. Just put it on the side and now grab your dry ingredients. And I'm using my palm to make sure crush all the powder, baking powder, making sure there's no lump inside my baking powder because if your baking powder exposed to some moist and dampness, it tends to get lumpy as well. But make sure you keep your baking powder in nice closed container, then you wouldn't have that problem. And also you can check whether your baking powder is active or not. You can use half teaspoon of baking powder and just drop it into half cup of hot water, and if it's going to bubble, that means your baking powder is still active. If it doesn't bubble, I'm so sorry, my dear, you gotta throw it away. Okay, now I mixed all the dry ingredients, and by the way, I use some sea salt. I like to use sea salt. You can use just the regular salt. I just buy the salt from Costco as a whole, and then in the bulk, and then I use it. Just put it into a small container and use it. Okay, so at this point, I'm adding flour. Just gradually add by little at a time. Do not overwork this. Stop it as soon as it comes together. If the dough feels a little too sticky, add a little bit flour, like 1 tablespoon at a time. Okay, so I'm just combining it together. Now we're going to just dump it on dusted countertop. Just dust it with a little bit of flour. Then just gently going to knead it just less than a minute. Again, you don't want to overwork this dough because you don't want to form gluten. If the gluten is formed, it's going to be chewy, gummy, and tough, not nice and crumbly. That is about enough. Now we're just going to cover it while I'm just cleaning up, and then I'm going to preheat the oven. I need to go and wash my hands. You're not resting it more than a minute. This process is not very necessary. You can skip this part because I just had to go and wash my hands. Okay, now you're going to roll this dough either to 0.5 millimeters thick. It's really your preference, but I like to do it around anywhere from 0.5 to 10 millimeters thick. And it will make about 20 to 24 pieces of cookies, and it's really your preference. And I'm using this fluted, it's called the cookie cutter. It's fluted cookie cutter, or some people call it scalloped cookie cutter. If you don't have such a cookie cutter, you can still use those drinking glass with the thin trim. You can use that kind of glass to cut this cookie. And just line it up on your parchment paper cooking sheet, like a ½ inch away from each other. And just, work with it until you finish with this dough. And I already preheated the oven already. Now we just brushed it with some milk, because the natural sugar in the milk, when it gets baked in the oven, it gives that nice golden caramelized color. So we're going to bake it about 10 to 12 minutes. And then last minute, if you notice it's still pale, you can turn onto the broiler and then bake another 30 to 45 seconds, but you really have to watch it. Then it gives that color as well. All right, now it's time to try these cookies. This is Russian cookies, a little different than American cookies. It's almost like a biscuit. This one is good, but with the milk, a cup of milk, so I have to have some milk. But let me break one. I want to show you how it looks inside. It looks like that. The ratio with butter and egg, excellent. Okay, just like a chocolate chip cookie, you can dip it into your milk, just like this. And this is how I used to eat. So heavenly, very good.